much, Leon. Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Todas y todos. Es un gran placer de estar aquí en el hermosa país Costa Rica. First time back since 20 years when I came here to learn a little bit of Spanish, and I still can remember a bit of it. So many thanks to IFIP for inviting ITU to speak to this World Information Technology Forum. We're very pleased to be here, and we look forward to increasing our collaboration with IFIP and with WITFOR. These are very interesting events. I'm pleased to understand that we have a lot of people from academia here this morning, and very pleased to have this chance to talk to you a bit about ITU's work in relation to increasing the level of ICTs and broadband rollout in particular across the world as the only means we have really of fully implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm sure everyone here really agrees with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, and this particular part of the text which recognizes that the spread of information and communication technology and global interconnectedness has great potential to accelerate human progress, to bridge the digital divide, and to lever knowledge societies. As we know now in 2016, ICTs and broadband are already empowering people across the world. Billions of individuals are making use of the technology to be better informed, to receive better education, better health services, and many other services that ICTs and the internet is able to provide, including, of course, the social media networks. In the developing world in particular, we've seen significant progress and many success stories. The technology has been used to track and map the spread of diseases. Many educational resources are using it now in developing countries, and also very interesting progress in the financial inclusion area, where mobile banking using the mobile phone is bringing banking services to many people that don't have a bank account. But of course, these advantages are only applying to around 47% of the world population. And we have nearly 4 billion people still offline. This is even more of significance in the least developed countries. There are 48 UN designated least developing countries, and in those countries 85% of the population is still offline. So we clearly need to bring the benefits of broadband to all the world's people, and we're no longer talking about it being a luxury. Broadband and smartphones should be seen now as an essential utility, just the same as roads and bridges. Really, it's a utility that's an essential if the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are going to be achieved. Earlier this year, at the ITU Council meeting in May, we had the pleasure of the special advisor to the UN Secretary General, speaking to us on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And at that meeting, David Nabarro stated that the new development agenda is universal, indivisible, and must leave no one behind. It must address the digital divide, otherwise we won't succeed. These goals cannot be realized without everybody being connected. And broadband will be crucial in helping us to address the many issues raised in the UN's report on sustainable development progress issued in July this year, which has some startling statistics. 60 million children of primary school age are not attending school. 38 million deaths annually from non-communicable diseases. 6 million children under the age of 5 die every year, mostly through easily preventable causes. 30% of the world of the world's population live in slum areas, and 350 million people globally live with no means of sanitation. So clearly there is tremendous challenges still to be met. And we need to do more to ensure the benefits of the ICTs are brought to all these people as quickly as possible, wherever they live and whatever they means. We need to make sure that hospitals can connect with remote clinics around the countrysides, and that the clinics connect to people. We need to make sure that universities connect to schools, and the schools connect to all students of all ages. And we need to make sure that governments are connected to the people that they serve. At ITU, we are working hard to address many of these issues, and specifically, we work on allocating the necessary spectrum, especially for mobile services. Future mobile services require a tremendous amount of spectrum. This can only be effective if it's harmonized spectrum across the world, so that people can move from one country to another and make use of their mobile phone. And also that equipment produced to operate in these frequency bands benefits from the economies of scale of addressing a worldwide market. So to take account of these trends, and in particular in the increased need for spectrum for mobile services compared to other services such as broadcasting. So we're seeing a trend to move, reduce spectrum for broadband services and to increase spectrum for mobile. And to agree that on a worldwide level is not an easy task. We also produce the international standards for this technology, especially the broadband standards, video codec standards, and all the standards for the fiber networks. We produce these standards through work in the standardization sector of the ITU. And there, of course, we benefit from the participation of our industry members. It's really ITU's industry members that drive this work. And of course, they need to reach consensus on these international standards. Otherwise, they won't be used. So that, again, is quite a significant task. And then in ITU, we promote best practices best practices to ensure that countries have an enabling environment and that facilitates and encourages the rollout of broadband, but also encourages innovation while avoiding market dominance and ensuring that consumers are protected. We also work and support initiatives at leveraging the power of government and encouraging public-private sector partnerships. This is really essential in rollout of this technology. And with ICTs permeating all walks of life, all sectors, the challenge is to work together with many diverse interests and many new players now taking a major interest in ICTs. And this is true at the national level, at the regional level, and at the international level. And only by working together can we really exchange these best practices and encourage innovation and take advantage of innovation, pool resources, and coordinate our progress in meeting the SDGs. In ITU now we have many companies and interests that historically had no interest in ITU, being originally an organization only dealing with telecommunications. Now we have many companies joining because they rely on the technology for their businesses, and they want to have a role in determining the standards that they will use. So reaching out to all these new players is a task regionally and nationally, that many ministries of communication now have to work very closely with many other ministries. And this was not the case in the past. And again, collaboration is essential and is quite a challenge in itself. So at the national level, it's very important that governments adopt a strategy to encourage the development of broadband and innovation. And in ITU, we're always, for many years, been advocating the adoption of national broadband plans in countries. I know in Costa Rica, in fact, the President Solis addressed the UN Broadband Commission for Sustainable Development in New York last September and introduced the country's national telecommunication plan, which is entitled A Connected Society. So clearly, Costa Rica is a good place to discuss this issue. And we have evidence to show that national broadband plans do make a significant difference. In a study that was done in 2013 by the ITU together with Cisco, it was found that national broadband plans can increase the fixed broadband penetration by 2.5%. and can increase mobile broadband penetration by 7.4%. And we're pleased to see that in this region, in Latin America and the Americas generally, there has been enthusiastic adoption of national broadband plans. In fact, this region has the greatest number of countries adopting national broadband plans next to the European region. And when adopting a national broadband plan, there are several aspects and characteristics that are really essential to its success. And one of them is to monitor the progress. It's essential to assess and analyze what elements of the plan work and what elements don't, and have means of measuring the level of success. It's only through this that these plans can be adjusted to take account specifically of changes in technology, but also to reassess priorities and to really identify areas that need corrective measures. And the quality of this regulation is a key to the success. Based on evidence we have in the ICT regulatory tracker, the choice of regulatory intervention and the right combination of regulatory measures can have a major catalytic effect on rollout. With regard to success in the area of mobile broadband penetration, countries that have implemented the following 5 key measures have been shown to systematically outperform countries that haven't some or all of these measures. So these 5 are a national broadband plan, competition in the mobile sector and in the international gateway for the mobile sector, infrastructure sharing, particularly important, mobile number portability, and in band migration from broadcasting analog services to digital broadcasting services, and then the release of spectrum for mobile. So as from the end of 2013, countries that have implemented these 5 measures have been shown to have a 60% better penetration rate for mobile broadband compared to the world average, which is 27%. And then in a similar way for the fixed broadband market, there's again a winning formula of regulatory measures, and the top 5 again. These are again the National Broadband Plan, open competition in the wireless, in the wireline broadband technologies, and an advanced licensing regime, either unified licensing or general authorization, and an infrastructure sharing policy, and again fixed number portability. Infrastructure sharing is really a major advantage, even on the fixed line. How many times have we seen streets being dug up for rolling out the fiber cable, and a couple of weeks later the same streets dug up again because another operator is bringing its cable down the street. For the fixed broadband penetration, application of these measures is shown to provide between 13 and 15% better penetration than the global average. So within reasonable limitations, the qualitative and quantitative evidence suggests that best practice regulation is really essential to bring the benefits of ICTs and broadband to citizens and businesses throughout the world. So let me close by once again emphasizing the critical importance of collaboration between all the stakeholders. And for ITU, this means collaboration with many other international organizations. And of course, as I said, very happy to be collaborating with IFIP and speaking here at the WITFOR. In ITU, we have a major challenge in helping to ensure that ICTs do bring the benefits of the Sustainable Development Agenda to the citizens of the world. And we do this, again, through the partnership that we have in ITU between 193 governments. Unusually for a UN agency, we have the benefit of a large private sector membership. Over 700 private sector entities are members of ITU and drive a lot of the work, as I said. We have civil society. We have many other international organizations that are members. And I'm very pleased to say that just recently, well, over the last 3 or 4 years, we now have a new category of membership for academia. And it's very important to have academia participating in our work, especially for the development of international standards, because we need to always be looking ahead, and we really need to involve the innovators, and most innovation takes place in academia. So we're very happy that we have 130 universities or more now members of ITU, and they are actively participating. Pleased that we have 2 in Costa Rica. And we really encourage more universities to join. We facilitate their participation, and the membership fee is very, very low compared to the normal membership fee. So we hope that we'll have many more of you participating in our work in the future. We're very willing and very happy to work with everyone to work towards achieving these critical goals and addressing these major challenges that we're faced. So we look forward to doing that with all of you and make sure that the world is a better place for everyone. Thank you very much.